Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing good. So, students, today I am going to start new chapter, chapter number 6, chemical reactions. Now, what is chemical reaction? So, chemical reaction is the change of substance in which we will get a new product and which have different chemical properties, different chemical identity. So, during a chemical reaction, or chemical change, we always get a new product which has different properties, and it is a permanent process. So a chemical reaction is usually accompanied by few observation. So in a chemical reaction, uh, either it can be a exothermic or endothermic based on the evolution and absorption of heat. Precipitate are formed, gas is evolved, or we can see the change of color. The reactant and the product's color are different after the reaction, and it also change the state also. So the physical state of a product reactant also changes after the chemical reaction. So first, so one by one I am going to explain you. First one is evaporation, evolution and absorption of heat. So evolution, you should know, evolution is related to the exothermic reaction. So and absorption of heat means endothermic reaction. So whenever during a chemical reaction, whenever heat is absorbed for the completing of chemical reaction, we write plus heat. So here you can see in the reaction, and this plus heat we have to write on the reactant side. So you can underline this line, plus heat is written on the reactant side when heat is absorbed. So this is the condition, when heat is absorbed during a chemical reaction, so we have to write plus heat on the reactant side. So here you can see one reaction is given. When nitrogen reacts with oxygen, so it will absorb the heat. So that's why it is written here plus heat on the reactant side, and all together they are forming one product that is called, that is here you can see nitric oxide 2NO, which is a gas. So the reaction in which, this is the definition of endothermic reaction, the reaction in which heat is absorbed is called endothermic reaction. One activity is given. In this activity they are showing, they are showing dissolution of ammonium chloride NH4Cl in water. So what will happen when we will add ammonium chloride and water? So this is also an endothermic reaction. So for this we need few materials. We need ammonium chloride salt, one beaker, and water, three things. Now what is the procedure and what is the observation of this? That the molecular formula of ammonium chloride is NH4Cl. In the chemistry you should know the molecular formulas. So when this compound is placed in the water in a beaker, it when we will add water into it, what will happen? It will dissociate its ion. Ammonium chloride dissociates its ion, ammonium ion NH4 positive, which is a cation, and chloride ion, which is a Cl negative, which is an anion. So water requires energy. So water absorb the heat energy, and it dissociates or it break down the ammonium ions and chloride ions from the ammonium chloride. So the energy taken or absorbed for this compound is categorized as an exothermic reaction. So this is the activity. Now one more reaction is given, that you can see here. If heat is evolved, so this reaction is exothermic reaction. So if heat is evolved means released. So if heat is released in during a chemical reaction, in a chemical reaction, again we will write the plus heat, but this time during when heat is released, this time in the exothermic reaction we will write plus heat on the product side, because after the chemical reaction heat is liberating, heat is evolving. So we will write on the product side. Always remember, endothermic reaction we will write on the reactant side plus heat, and exothermic reaction we write on the product side. So when carbon, which is a solid, reacts with oxygen, which is a gas, it will give carbon dioxide and it will release a lot of heat. So this is the example of exothermic reaction. Now second condition is, so definition is also given, the reaction in which heat is released or evolved is called exothermic reaction. Next is formation of precipitate. So whenever any chemical reaction takes place, it will form, sometimes it form a precipitate. So by looking into the precipitate only, because precipitate is an insoluble compound, so we can see after the chemical reaction, we can see at the bottom of the test tube that chemical precipitate is formed which is insoluble. And the formation of precipitate also we indicate by the arrow mark, downwards arrow. So you can see here in this product side, this in the bracket downward arrow is there in both the reactions. You can see they are showing. So first reaction is barium chloride. When barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, it will give barium sulfate plus NaCl, sodium chloride. So here barium sulfate is precipitate. So that's why arrow is downward and NaCl is aqueous. Same way, another equation is given. When silver nitrate reacts with hydrogen chloride, it will produce silver chloride which is white in color. So it is also a precipitate, and hydrogen nitrate which is aqueous. This is hydrogen nitrate, you can see. Now evolution of a gas. So wherever gas is released, we should put the, or we should show the release of gas by upward arrow. Upward arrow means you can see hydrogen is a gas, hydrogen sulfide is a gas, even the oxygen and carbon dioxide, we should write upward arrow. So upward arrow means it is giving the information that this is a gas. Now so we can write, we can denote by upward arrow, or we can write simply G, small g. Like here you can see zinc is a solid, so that's why in the bracket S is written. HCl and H2SO4, they are in aqueous, they are acid in the water, so that's why it is written aqueous. Aqueous means water amount is there along with acid. Same way we can write S for solid, L for liquid, and G for gas. And precipitate down, we should denote by downward arrow, and gas, for the evolution of gas we can show by upward arrow, you can see. Now the reaction, here are again two reactions are given. Zinc, when zinc reacts with 2HCl, it will produce zinc chloride, ZnCl2, and it will release hydrogen gas. So always remember when metal react with acid, it will produce the hydrogen gas. When metal react with acid, it can be HCl, it can be H2SO4, it will release the hydrogen gas. Same way when sodium sulfide Na2S react with acid H2SO4 sulfuric acid, it will produce sodium sulfate Na2SO4 and hydrogen sulfide H2S, which is a pungent smell, which is a pungent gas. Now change of color. Change of color is, few reactions are categorized by change of color. So when red lead oxide gets heated, yellow lead monoxide is formed. So you can see the formula is Pb3O4. So when it is red in color, so when we will heat it, its color changes from red to yellow. So with yellow color it will produce, so we will get the product lead oxide, and it will release the oxygen gas. So you can see here G, we can denote it by G by writing simply G, or we can put only upward arrow. So we can denote anyway. Now change of state also you can see. This is done by using symbol. For solid we write S, as I told you. For liquid we write small l. For gas small g. And for aqueous we write AQ. On the reactant and the product side. So here one example is given. Here you can see formation of magnesium oxide. So when magnesium, which is solid, when reacts with the oxygen, which is a gas, it will produce a solid compound which is a magnesium chloride. Formula is MgO. So in a chemistry, formulas are very important. So for a chemical reaction to occur, one or more substances are required to start a chemical reaction. So we need either two reactants, two or more than two reactants, or even if the reactant is one, then we need of conditions like heat or catalyst or any other pressure, temperature, any other conditions. So and the same way we will get the new products. Sometimes product is one, sometimes product is two, so based on the chemical reactions. Now chemical reactions are of few types. So you can see, depending on the nature of the reaction that is taking place, they are broadly classified into following ways. Like first one is combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, precipitation reaction, redox reaction, and neutralization. First one is combination reaction. So combination reaction is a reaction in which two or more reactants, they combine together and they form a single product. So you can see here X is reacting or combining with Y, and it is producing a single product XY. So X and Y represent two reactants. So here always left hand side we write reactants, and right hand side we write or we keep product. So these reactants, when they combine together, they will form a product. So few examples are given. So for A part is two elements combines with. So when two elements are combined, so both the magnesium and oxygen are the two elements. When they will combine, they will produce a magnesium oxide. So here you can see further that we have two reactants here in this reaction and one product, single product. So one activity is given of magnesium ribbons. So whenever we burn the magnesium ribbon, what will happen? Over a flame or burner, a Bunsen burner, we will get the we can collect in a watch glass here. When we will burn the magnesium ribbon, we can collect the ash of the magnesium oxide, and when we will add water into it, what will happen? What will happen? It will turn into magnesium hydroxide. So you can see here reaction, first reaction is when magnesium reacts with oxygen, it will form magnesium oxide, and when in the second reaction, when we will add water, it will convert into magnesium hydroxide, which is a base. Okay, so this so when we will add this magnesium oxide in water, it changes red litmus paper to blue. So the color of a blue paper remains unchanged. So we can see that magnesium oxide is basic in nature. So we can check by doing this activity, we can check whether the magnesium oxide is basic in nature or acidic in nature. So this is all about the, you can see here the solution of magnesium oxide in water changes red litmus to blue. Magnesium oxide, when we will dip, it will change red litmus to blue, but with the magnesium oxide it will remain unchanged. So we can see that magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature, whereas magnesium oxide is not basic in nature. So here you can see, you can read it. Now next is so here you have there are so many reactions are given. Then is next reaction is the burning of coal. So whenever we burn the coal in the presence of oxygen, we will get the carbon dioxide gas. Same way here same way when iron reacts with sulfur, we will get the iron sulfide. When nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, it will produce or form ammonia gas. When hydrogen, which is a gas, again combined with oxygen, we will get the water. So here in all the reactions you can see we have two elements. So this is a combination reaction showing between the two elements. Now two or more compounds. So here you can see B part, here we have two compounds, CaO and H2O. So CaO and H2O, they both are compounds, they are combining together and they are forming the single product, new product. So here when quicklime calcium oxide reacts with water, it will produce the lime water. So we can perform this activity the same way only. So whenever we will add the calcium oxide in water, it will produce calcium hydroxide, plus it will release more heat. That's why it plus heat is written on the product side, you can see. Now this calcium hydroxide, when reacts with carbon dioxide further, so it will produce the calcium carbonate plus water. So this reaction is vigorous. If we will touch the this base part of the beaker, so we can feel the warmth or heat of the heat liberated from during this reaction, we can feel also. Now the next reaction is that you can see here is between the two compounds. Ammonia reacts with HCl, it will form ammonium chloride, and C part reaction takes place in which an element and a compound. When an element and compound, one is the element, another one is a compound, again it will produce the one product. So water is a compound and sulfur dioxide is also there. So when it will combine, it will produce sulfurous acid, H2SO3. So water and sulfur dioxide are the two reactants here, and sulfurous acid is a product. So always remember, in the combination reaction, it is also called synthesis reaction, in which two reactants combine together and they produce single product. So in the next class, I will explain you the decomposition reaction, which is the reversal of combinations reaction. So please, in our homework, read the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day. God bless you all.